Welcome to Mupdates, your monthly Medfield updates. I'm Audrey Ensor, and this episode is all about May 2021. We're covering the Cultural Alliance of Medfield's Building 10 Mural and PorchFest event, a recap of the Mental Health Monday project, Medfield Together's Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Knowledge Quest, annual town meeting, First Parish's Anti-Racism Vigil, and Memorial Day highlights. We also have an interview with Meghan Bannister from Active Minds at Medfield High School and an update from the school committee. The Cultural Alliance has commissioned artist Cedric Douglas to create a mural on Building 10 at the former Medfield State Hospital. Here's more regarding that process.
I'm working here on a mural with the Cultural Alliance of Medfield, and it's to kind of bring more art to this area and this community and to potentially make this a space where people can be creative. I've been working with murals about 15 years now. I started off doing graffiti, and when I started off doing graffiti, it was a way to express myself. I've been connected with Jean. She's been doing a lot of public art initiatives in Boston and all over, and we recently connected when she was pitching this project years ago and wanting to do more art in this area, in this space. We had conversations about, like, if this was to move forward, maybe there's a way to get you in there to do a mural. And I said, yeah, we'd love to do that. Originally, I researched the space, and then also I did research about this community and worked with Jean, and Jean helped me to connect me to different resources. And we wanted to have some of those different elements kind of put into one. And I learned that music is a huge part of this community. Music between the youth and the high schools, and just music is a huge part of this community. So in this piece, it's a youth, the future, playing a violin. And when I think of violin, I think of melody, I think of music, I think of nature. Taking those elements and kind of creating a mural that kind of is celebrating music, youth, and the history of this community in a kind of somewhat abstract way. I'm happy to have this opportunity. I'm happy to meet the people from the community, and people have been very welcoming, and happy to be sharing my art with the Medfield community and working with Jean. She's been awesome to work with, and her initiative, I think, is amazing. And I think when I come into this space, I see these buildings, build. I'm like, that could be an art studio, that could be a music center. It's just like, there's so much potential in this space. And I'm happy to see that there's momentum to making some type of difference. People already want to come here. So what happens if you add art? What happens if you add activities? What happens if you add music? I hope this brings value to the community and to the youth and to the future of this space.
The full video on the mural is available on our watch page, medfield.tv/watch, or on our YouTube channel, Medfield TV. The Cultural Alliance also held their second PorchFest event this May. Medfield TV sent out 6 of our staff members to get footage of every act. Here's a short segment of the recap video we produced.
This is PorchFest, and this is our second time coming. We love it. We got the map, made out a plan, and we're on our bikes and going around to as many as we can. Big thanks to Jean Mineo for doing this. What a fabulous concept, and what a fabulous fun time for everybody. I really hope you continue doing this. Thank you.
He's my dad, and I like how he plays the music.
It feels amazing just to be around people, feel the sun on your face, and then listening to the live music. I'm really enjoying that. Eating outdoors, the lobster roll was delicious, and I'm enjoying the bear that's available.
It feels like we've been in a cage for more than a year. I had a friend from college come down to listen to me play. He said, "This is like coming out. This is like a coming out party for the world. The sun's out. We've got spring, and it is time to start living again." So I was glad to do it with a little bit of music. I could watch live music forever. So to be able to be out hearing people play again is a lot of fun, and to take part's even more fun than that.
I said this hairline is receding. Oh, and what's left is turning gray. words are getting fuzzy as I'm reading. I can't always make out what you say. As long as it's the one you're loving, baby, I won't ever give this body away. I said now, said all the pain is peeling. Oh, and there's cracks in all the window panes. When it snows, it's freezing. Said the roof's always leaking every time it rains. As long as you're living with me, baby, there ain't nothing about this house I wanna change. Oh, ain't nothing I ever wanna change. Hey.
The full PorchFest video is available on our watch page, medfield.tv/watch, or on our YouTube channel, Medfield TV. Medfield TV produced the Mental Health Monday project for the second year this May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. This show is a collaboration with the Medfield Coalition for Suicide Prevention, a Medfield Foundation initiative, as administered by Medfield Outreach to alleviate stress and promote mental health awareness. Guests this year included Adrian Mandigo, leading a 30-minute yoga class, the Medfield Animal Shelter, discussing benefits of owning pets and volunteering at the shelter, the Medfield High School Band, performing 2 songs and students discussing the benefits of being in the music program, and finally, Medfield TV participated by demonstrating a mason jar painting craft. The full episodes are available on our watch page, medfield.tv/watch, or on our YouTube channel, Medfield TV. You can also listen to the Medfield TV podcast at medfield.tv/listen, or on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Next is coverage of Medfield Together's Asian American and Pacific Islander Knowledge Quest. In celebration of AAPI Heritage Month, Medfield Together challenged families and individuals to visit various locations throughout Medfield to find portals featuring figures of AAPI history. Each portal features a past or present figure and highlights their achievements and contributions. Inventors, politicians, chefs, artists, and other trailblazers were included. The 14 portals around Medfield featured figures such as Mindy Kaling, Yo-Yo Ma, Eugenie Clark, and Ming Tsai. To learn more about Medfield Together and keep up to date with their initiatives, visit medfieldtogether.com. The annual town meeting was held on Monday, May 17th. There were over 30 articles to vote on, with one of the most talked about being Article 29.
Just to be clear on what we're voting on, we are voting on Article 29 as stated on page 65 of the warrant report. The article, as with the motion is for a recommendation that the Medfield School Committee and School Building Committee amend its proposal, and the resolution carries forward with the rest of the article. So I'm going to put this to a vote. A vote in favor supports the citizens' petition. A vote opposed is a vote for dismissal of the citizens' petition. All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, please say aye. Okay, please raise your hand if you're in favor. Please raise your hand if you're opposed. Okay, as I feared. Let's do that one more time just so I can get a sense of the room, if this were a room. All in favor of the citizens' petition? All opposed? Okay, Conrad, we're going to do a standing count. The tally is the vote in yes, 229 voters. The vote for no, 212 voters. The motion carries.
Watch the full town meeting on medfield.tv/watch or on our YouTube page, Medfield TV. You can also listen to the Medfield TV podcast at medfield.tv/listen, as well as on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. On May 23rd, First Parish held an Anti-Racism Vigil. Here's some coverage of that event.
This is a great day to be here, but it's a shame to be here for this day. As I was preparing for an engagement at a church I was at earlier, as this Sunday approached, being the Sunday when George Floyd died, my poet's mind began to make connections, search for patterns. I couldn't help but think of the story of another man who was brutalized and subdued by policing authority, had his hands immobilized, died by the behest of state-sanctioned violence in front of a screaming crowd as he called out to a parent before he breathed his last. One whose death became a catalyst for a movement that spread beyond the parochial locale of which his death occurred. As a poet, it is one of my sincerest hopes that something I have to say will catch this world on fire. That maybe my last words will do something to baptize us out of this hate.
I was driving home one day from work. Now, I worked as a carpenter all through high school and through college. I had a couple of situations in Foxborough in particular where I showed up at the job early, and I wasn't there 5 minutes, and the cops came pulling up, wondering what I was doing in the neighborhood. I told them I was working a job. We're going to do this roof, my old principal from high school. Then my boss and my good friend pulled up, and I could see them like concerned a little bit in their eyes. For me, it was a little embarrassing. So everything was fine. I went to work. Next day, same thing. I showed up to work early. Annette, this is why I never come to work early. I show up to work early. I'm there maybe 5 minutes, and again, the police show up. Somebody called. And same thing, different cop. And again, I'll never forget my friends driving up in the truck and just being in hysterics, just laughing because this happened now 2 days in a row. But for me, it was embarrassing.
Watch the full vigil on medfield.tv/watch or on our YouTube channel, Medfield TV. Listen on medfield.tv/listen, as well as on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Next up are some highlights from Memorial Day.
Memorial Day is a time for recalling the sacrifice of those who gave their lives in service to the United States, for the defense of the people of this republic, and for our democratic form of government, for our way of life. As a nation, we do this in many ways. It is said that the earliest Memorial Days involved the decorating of soldiers' tombstones to recognize the price paid. Today, across the nation, we celebrate Memorial Day with parades, speeches, gatherings, and perhaps most prominently, we think of Memorial Day as the first day of summer, that great American season of sport and American food, crowned by our Independence Day in July. It is fitting that this summer season begins with Memorial Day, because it is the fallen members of the services who have secured this place and this way of life against those who would threaten it. In the Army, we refer to these persons as the fallen, with a capital F. We remember them often, and we remember them personally. As a guest of Medfield, I've been impressed with the presence of memorials found in the town honoring fallen soldiers. For example, on street corners, one can find elevated plaques, usually identified with twin American flags flying, that tell in succinct and dignified fashion how a service member made the ultimate sacrifice. Pick one of these plaques and read the story this Memorial Day. Reflect on the life, virtues, commitment, and service that the story portrays. Consider a moment of silence, however brief, to remember and to memorialize. then begin again, with a deeper appreciation for the cost of our freedom, and with a stronger sense of the nation that these people, ordinary in life, but extraordinary in courage, gave their lives for. May God bless this country and those who loved it so much that they gave their lives for its peace.
Watch Memorial Day coverage on medfield.tv/watch or on our YouTube page, Medfield TV. Listen on medfield.tv/listen, as well as on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Now we have Brett Poirier, Medfield TV's Executive Director, interviewing Meghan Bannister from Active Minds at Medfield High School.
So Active Minds is a nonprofit organization that is across the U.S. And so one section of their organization are chapters. And so in many colleges, universities, and high schools on campus, they have a student-led chapter. And these chapters talk about mental health, they educate the members of the chapter, and they come up with ideas of how to fight the stigma and spread awareness. And so I implemented a chapter at Medfield High School, and I hope it continues on after I graduate this year. So I connected with a junior, Catherine Waters, who has helped me begin this chapter. And so we met with a representative from the Active Minds organization, and we also connected with another nonprofit organization, the Kyle Cares Foundation. And so they provided us with the necessary funds needed to connect with Active Minds and begin the chapter. And they have also helped us connect with other of their partners to reach out to start the chapter at Medfield High School. First, we really just got the word out about our chapter. We wanted people to join. We sent out a Google form to the whole school just to gauge interest of who might be interested in this initiative. And so we got 43 members to join our chapter, and then after a couple meetings, we began our first project, which was the bandana project. So we had bandanas around the school available for all students to grab, and if a student wanted to, they could grab a green bandana and tie it around their backpack. So green is the symbol for hope, and so if you were to put a bandana on your backpack, you are actively showing your support for mental health awareness and that you are non-judgmental and you are someone that someone struggling can talk to. And so that was our first project, was the bandana project, which is a huge success. Then we did a small poster project. And so all of our club members made a bunch of different posters that we hung up around the school with just motivational quotes, inspirational quotes, reminders that it's okay not to be okay, and just other simple resources that were around the school, which were very impactful given the time and how challenging this pandemic has been for everyone. And then we had a public speaker come to our school. So we had Carly Bushovin come talk to all students via Zoom this year. And so her sister is Madison Holleran, and I'm not sure if you've heard of the book, What Made Maddie Run, but that is Maddie's story. She lost her battle to depression and unfortunately died of suicide. And so her sister came and talked about signals and signs and warnings and how academic pressures, pressures from sports teams. Madison was an Ivy League student at UPenn, and just how different roles impacted her life in different ways. So it was awesome to have Carly come talk to our school. And then most recently, we had our little bracelet project for Mental Health Awareness Month this May. And so just like the bandanas, we had bracelets available to all students, and the bracelet said, "It's okay not to be okay." And so if you wanted to show your support for mental health awareness this May, you could grab a bracelet and put it on your wrist. And we had people posting on social media, them wearing their bracelets along with their friends. And yeah, that was just another huge success. And so those bracelets were donated to us by the Hope for the Day Foundation, which is just another nonprofit organization that focuses on educating teens in ways to look for warning signs and signals for when their peers' mental health might not be the best. It's just been really nice to see people start the conversation and make it more of just a casual topic rather than something that's challenging to break the ice with. If you're passionate about something, go and do it, because it will be worth it and you will make a positive difference. And another thing that I've learned about is just you never know what people are going through. I've had a lot of people who have never expected to reach out to me and thank me for the work I'm doing because it's personally helped them, and I would have never imagined that that person needed that help or needed to come to school that day and see everyone with a green bandana on their backpack, or see everyone wearing a bracelet that says it's okay not to be okay. And that's just been another really impactful thing, is that you never know what someone's going through, and to always be nice to everyone, because, you know, you never really know.
View the full interview on medfield.tv/watch or on our YouTube page, Medfield TV, or listen in podcast form on medfield.tv/listen, as well as on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Finally, we have an update with the school committee.
So I am Jessica Riley. I am the chair of the Medfield School Committee, and I always look forward to being able to do these updates for the schools. The class of 2021 will be able to have a graduation in which they are not only sitting with the pods of their 4 guests, but they will also be able to have other guests who can come sit in the stands. The Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, which has been giving us a lot of our guidance this year as it kind of comes down from the Department of Ed and the Department of Public Health and from Governor Baker, has said that we can hand graduates their diplomas. The annual town meeting did pass our budget along with the budget of the rest of the town operations at a level set at 3.99% increase, and we thank you very much. The only real addition to that budget is that while we'll have level of service, we were able to add a position at the middle school so that we could have a full-time adjustment counselor at the middle school, which is essentially somebody who works with kids and sometimes with families to kind of help with day-to-day and short-term issues. On other things to look forward to, on June 17th, Dr. Power is going to come to the school committee, and we've asked her to give an update and a presentation around learning assessments that we have been giving students all year long, where we have kind of ended up on that curve, where we see vulnerabilities, where we see places that have not been challenged and that we've actually done quite well, what it is we're going to need to be working on so that we can make sure that all kids are continuing to progress and kind of going towards the goals that the Department of Elementary and Secondary Ed has set for them, but also the goals that we as a community and we as a school have set for them. As of our June 17th meeting, we will be meeting in person, and public comment, public input, not public participation, because participation is to actually be able to see the workings of your elected officials. But public comment will also need to be in person. And we are working to figure out how we can get meetings shown to the community live. In the fall, in probably late fall, we will hold a special town meeting for a vote to approve or not the funding for a new elementary school for grades 4 and 5. We will also then, very shortly after, need to have a vote in the polls for grades for this elementary project. Both of those have to pass with a 2/3 majority through a special town meeting as well as through the poll vote. And you will be hearing a great deal more about that. One of the reasons that we have really started to conceptualize this special town meeting, or that the school building committee and the selectmen have started to conceptualize this special town meeting as being later in the fall, is that we want to make sure that our community really understands what we're asking, the cost, which is not inconsiderable, and will be much better defined by the end of the summer. And so we really have to think about the nature of using our resources over the long term in the most responsible way, and go through the really uncomfortable exercise of trying to predict the future and be right, and never know if we were right or not.
View full videos on medfield.tv/watch or on our YouTube page, Medfield TV. Listen in podcast form on medfield.tv/listen, as well as on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. To stay up to date with all things Medfield, be sure to like Medfield TV on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram @Medfield TV. Lastly, don't forget to tune in to our cable stations, channels 8, 12, and 22 on Comcast, and channels 36, 45, and 47 on Verizon. That's it for the May 2021 episode. See you next month for another episode of Mupdates, your monthly Medfield updates.